Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Notes with Chris. Today we're going to be talking about the great book FU Money. FU Money by Dan Lok. Dan Lok's actually he's a serial entrepreneur. He's owned multiple businesses and he's actually from China and he's entirely self-made. He talks about a lot of things that are actually really awesome. And what I specifically like a lot about this book in general is that it's not just about mindset. It also actually gives you direct skill set things that you can apply in your business, especially if you have any form of selling of products or anything like that. It's really awesome to help apply it and actually help benefit you straight away. So without further ado, let's get right back into it. So the first thing that FU Money talks about is first understanding what FU Money is to you. So FU, it stands for exactly what we're talking about. It's when you can start saying FU to your boss or the person who's in control of your life, and it actually represents freedom. So the amount of money that you need coming in where you're actually living the life that you want, okay? Now, there's a few concepts that it talks about, but the first one that I really like, it's all about increasing your income through increasing the value of your time. Okay, so your time is irreplaceable, right? You cannot actually change it. Your clients, they're irreplaceable. You can change them, but your time isn't. So it's all about increasing the value of your time and making sure that you're constantly improving, right? The goal should be to keep your income going up and never stagnate. If it stagnates, then it's probably eventually by default, especially with inflation, going to go down. So let's talk about understanding what is that lifestyle that you want to have, that FU money that gives you that FU money. So Dan Lok talks about writing down the exact lifestyle that you want. So if you want to live in a penthouse suite in the middle of let's say Sydney, that's going to cost anywhere between $100,000 to $250,000 per year. So write that down. Next thing, the car that you want to drive is going to cost you, let's say, you want to drive a Lambo, that's going to be like $200,000. $200,000 right there, okay? The next one would be, the types of cars, like on top of that you want to drive. Dan Lok, he wants to go on a holiday, I think, every single month or every single quarter, so that ends up costing about $50,000 per year. And he writes it all up, and his actually ideal lifestyle ended up being $600,000 a year or something like that. And basically his goal was to make $1 more than the amount that he had written down, which is really interesting because that brings you back to a thing that's not specifically spoken about in the book, but it is very important. And it's all about, it's not the money you make, but the money you keep. If you make $1 million a year, $1 million a year, but the lifestyle that you have to have in order to make that $1 million a year is $999,999, you'd be hard pressed to say that you're actually earning $1 million a year because it costs so much to make sure that you're making that. So it's not the money that you make, it's about the money you keep. It's about the money that you have on top of the lifestyle that you're basically living, right? So that's what the video talks about and something that you should definitely implement. Now, once you've understood the exact goal, it's all about working backwards, understanding the plan to get you to the goal. So he has a term called hit your dig, which is basically it's about making sure that you hit your daily income goal. So he works it out. What's your yearly? What's your monthly? What's your weekly? What's your daily? Now he says just work on your daily because once you know that you're hitting your daily consistently, you don't even need to really worry about your monthly. You know you're going to hit it. And from your monthly, you know you're going to hit your yearly and stuff like that. So hit your dig first. Understand if you want to make $600K, I don't know how much that is per day. If you want to do the math really quickly, you can figure it out and start moving forward from there. Once you have that sorted, then you can start basically working and the goal should always be to actively increase it. Now, the next thing he talks about, which I think is actually awesome, is getting in touch with your dreams, goals, and aspirations. So, by putting yourself in the situation, there's two benefits to it. For one, you know exactly what you like, right? It might not actually end up being for you. If it's not for you, you can always change your goal, which is perfect and is actually a great idea. The second thing is it gets you comfortable with living the type of way that you want to live. So he talked about how he would put on like a $5,000, $10,000 suit. He'd go into the hotels that he barely could afford, and he'd ride around in limousines before he could actually technically afford them. So he'd do it one time to make sure that he got in touch with his goals and aspirations, which is awesome. And it also made him realize that he actually deserves the lifestyle that he wants. For a lot of people who do something like that, they might realize maybe I don't need to live that certain way, but for him it was a motivator. So that's another benefit. The second thing is that, which I think is awesome, it gets you in touch with your goals to the point where you actually understand what it is you're striving for. If your dream car is a Lamborghini and you end up driving a Lamborghini, then and you feel as if you deserve it, then the chances of getting that Lamborghini is going to be so much more than it just being in your head. So I really like that idea. I highly suggest it. That whole idea, get in touch with your goals, work around and live around the types of things that you're working towards. It'll help you actually achieve it, like from a mindset perspective. So there's nothing wrong with that. Now, over to the skill set and things that you can actually actively put into your business. If you'll notice that the trend in this book is that everything's phrased a little bit confrontationally, which is unique. But he says 80% of majority of your clients are rubbish. And he says it in his own way, but majority of your clients are not worth anything. In fact, he says, which is true, about 80% of your company or business's revenue only actually comes from 20% of your clients, which is generally true for most businesses. Now, so what he wants to go on to say is that the reason is because that 20% is your ideal market, right? You don't sell your product, you sell what is selling. So you sell to the market, right? If you have an amazing phone, it's better than the iPhone, but there's no market for it, there's no point in it. There's no sales that are going to be made. So he talks about selling to that 20%. Now, the reason why that 20% is making up 80% of revenue is because that's your target audience. Those are the type of people that are basically resonating with the product that you're trying to talk, that you have on board, that you have selling to them. So if you need to understand that, what's the demographic? Are they young? Are they old? Right? It's not the demographic. Okay. What types of people are they? Are they high earners? Are they low earners? Once you break down that type of understanding of who that 20% that's making up 80% of your consistent revenue, then completely change your business model towards advertising to those people. Right? Whatever is selling towards them, those are the types of people that you want to target. And then so on and so on and so on and so on. Until eventually, hopefully, and 80% of your business still comes from the same type of demographic. And once that's sort of set up, that's an awesome problem to run into. You probably have to look towards branching out into other ideas and stuff like that. But that's also a great point. So sell to the market. Don't sell your product, sell to the market. Now that's going to be obviously a little bit different if you are in sales, but it is still important. Like the first thing that you always want to do is make sure you can sell to someone who can afford it. If you're not selling to people that can afford your product, right, then all you're doing is wasting time, right? You can argue you're developing a skill set, but you're certainly wasting time. So you want to make sure, number one, you're selling to people who can afford your product. All right, so FU money, basically, to summarize, all right? You want to basically write down your lifestyle that you want to live, right? The non-negotiable amount of money that you need coming in, and basically you want to earn that as a yearly income, but $1 more, so you are in the green, right? Time is irreplaceable, clients aren't. You want to actively increase your income. You don't just want to sit there. If you stagnate, you're dying, right? You're lowering by default because of inflation, but more so, it's eventually going to get less. Actively look towards increasing your income through the assets that you attain or the business that you run, and you will never, that's the first step, all right? Awesome. Second thing would be hit your dig, right? Once you've understood your lifestyle thing, you need to work towards hitting your daily income goal, right? Hit your dig. Once there, you can work forward and then start moving and progressing into the types of areas that you want to move into. On top of that, there's a lot of other things that the book talks about, but the number one, hit your dig. Number three, hit your dig. The next one is get in touch with your dreams and goals. This is one that's probably the most emotionally sound and most emotionally important thing that the book talks about. Get in touch with your goals. I can't stress this enough. Okay, if you have not lived the type of lifestyle that you're looking towards living, 2, how do you know that you're going to like it, right? You might not change your goal. 3, if you do love it, then you want to want it 4. You want it even more. And 3, now you know exactly what you're striving for. You know exactly what it is that you're working towards. And you feel as though you might even deserve it. Something that I did, definitely it's called get in touch with your dreams, get in touch with your goals, get in touch with your aspirations. It allows you to bring a level of reality towards it. And, it really comes back to the environment thing of if you hang around 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. If you hang around 5 homeless people, you'll be the 5th. You'll be the 6th. You want to basically get in touch with the people or the opportunities or the environments that are going to give you what you want or are striving towards getting it. It's a no-brainer for me. Something that everybody should definitely do if they can afford it. And if they can't afford it, maybe put a little bit of savings towards it until you get there. And once you get there, that's basically, you're 90% of the way there, because now your mindset's set towards making sure that you are setting up that environment for you. The next part is clients are replaceable. Clients are replaceable, okay? You want to have an abundance mindset to the point where you're not actually, holding on to things where it's a scarcity mindset. Clients are replaceable. Understand 20% of your clients are delivering you 80% of your revenue. So focus on that 20%, specifically not them, but the demographic that they come from. If 20% of your clients are the elderly and they're bringing in 80% of your revenue, make sure that you start orientating your business model towards marketing towards the elderly, all right? Of course, same thing vice versa. If majority of the people who you're purchasing are middle-aged, if you're selling houses, middle-aged people are buying houses, those are the people you want to talk about. I mean, obviously you can have a little bit of people outside of that demographic, but you want 80% of your clients to come from a certain demographic, especially once you figure it out. And it is a learning process, but you're going to have a lot of back and forth, visualization and understanding, breaking down some of the numbers. But once you have those things set up, I promise you that you're going to put your business in a better position to when you are in the future. But that's pretty much all for today. So we'll be making a lot more of these videos, so stay tuned to Quick Notes with Chris to help improve you and put you in a better position for financial success. There already are a few more videos on the channel, so if you like this, comment, subscribe, maybe give it a share, and check out what else we have uploaded previously and what we're uploading in the future. I guarantee you won't regret it. We'll be giving you a quick Notes with Chris for a quick rundown rather than having to read the entire book. But at the same time, you will always get a better reaction and a better response if you read it yourself. But I'll see you in the next video. Alright, see ya.